I am your host Salim bin Mohammad Rafi, and this is your YouTube channel. Since everywhere we're talking about the war and the war culprit and the most hated criminal who is the responsible for starting this regional war, and everybody is now sleepless, and especially the Zionist state, there is not a single child, single woman, single person living there, whether it is a Jew, whether it is a Orthodox Jew or Zionist or is an atheist or anyway, Zionists do not believe in God, so they are all atheists. So these scum of the society, they have a leader called Natenyahu. Even you look at the Time magazine, which has given the whole world, sunken into the pitch darkness because of this gentleman, who is not a gentleman. He is not a human, he is an animal. And the dirtiest animal on earth is the scavenger, is the pig. Now you know that what is the fate of the pig is they are always fattened first, and then they are trapped in there, and then they are butchered there. And then they are brought to the butcher's desk, and then piece by piece then eaten first by the human and then by the pigs back again, or by the dogs and cats. And this is exactly what is going to happen to this person who has taken away the peace. No Israeli can sleep, and you see the people who are buying food, and see they have failed to protect them, but still he is insisting to continue and kill the babies in Gaza. And that is a small little thing which everybody has been telling him for the last 10 months, that stop nonsense, stop killing the babies. You have lost, you've been defeated, your face has been blackened, but you are living in past. And I want to show you a clipping from there, that the only nation in the world, the only religion in the world who keeps quoting, and that is the biblical history which they keep quoting. It's not the real history. The real history, when even they dug up the architecture outside Jerusalem, they found that when Prophet Abraham moved here, it was far more civilized there than these people. They claim that it's their land, it's the God's chosen people. They are the most hated people. How on earth can be the God's chosen people so dirty, so filthy, so cruel, so criminal, raping the detainees and killing the babies? So you can imagine that one person, they would have taken care of this, and I think the Israelis themselves should have taken care of this person. And after looking at this, how they want Africa to forget about what happened in the past, and they say, no, just stick to the past, because this is our land. This is not your land, damn you, and now this is your end. And see what a filthy and what a dirty, what a humiliating end you are going to face. And unfortunately, no one is happy, because you have shaken the peace of the whole region and really the whole world. So your punishment is to be hanged in somewhere a square, and all of you who assisted you, whether they are Americans, whether they are Epic, whether whoever they are, or the bankers, or the big industrialists, or those your supporters of Zionism in Norway, in England, in wherever they are all now going to just pay back through their nose, and there's going to be very bloody nose, I'm afraid.
שלך מול המערכת, מול צה"ל, מול הפרקליטות?
אני חושב שצה"ל שלנו הוא צבא בריא ביותר. המפקדים, הלוחמים, אנשי השטח. אם יש מישהו במערכות למעלה שרוצה לקלקל לנו, אני פה להגן על שמנו הטוב. שמחתי מאוד שהימין יודע להתעורר בארץ ישראל. אני לא רוצה להיכנס לימין ושמאל, אבל זה בסוף יוצא ככה, זה לא יעזור כלום, כי הצד הימני הוא זה שקם. עם ישראל יודע להתעורר כשצריך. שבת שלום עם ישראל. מאיר מכוח 100. שלום לכולם. ערב פרשת דברים. הקדוש ברוך הוא מצווה אותנו בפרשה הזאת, ואני אקריא לכם. ואצווה את שופטיכם בעת ההיא לאמור, שמוע בין אחיכם ושפטתם צדק בין איש ובין אחיו ובין גרו. לא תכירו פנים במשפט, כקטון, כגדול, תשמעון. לא תגורו מפני איש, כי המשפט לאלוהים הוא, והדבר אשר יקשה מכם, תקריבון אלי ושמעתיו. לא תגורו מפני איש. שתדעו לכם דבר אחד, אחי עם ישראל, נמצאים אנו במלחמה קשה מול האויב, אשר מבחוץ, ויש גם רוחות רעות אשר נושבות מבפנים. עלינו להתחזק ולהתקרב ולהבין ולהתאחד כדי לנצח במלחמה הזאת. אנחנו לא מתכוונים לשתוק. נגמרו הימים שהפסקנו ואנחנו שותקים. נגמרו. אנחנו נעמוד על האמת ואנחנו נלחם עליה ואנחנו כאן בשביל החברים שלנו. ואני מבקש מכל עם ישראל, יום ראשון, בשעה 4 בצהריים, בית ליד, תבואו לתמוך בנו. אנחנו צריכים אתכם. כל עם ישראל באשר הוא. תודה רבה.
What are the implications from your perspective if the American public comes to believe that Israel was involved, planned, and carried out the 9/11 attacks?
You know, even Henry Kissinger and the CIA said something that I agree with. You know, I don't normally agree with Kissinger or the CIA, but I do in this. And both of them said that Israel will be no more within a short period of time. I believe the CIA predicted 20 years back in 2007, something like that. And Kissinger said within 10 years, just a few years back himself. I wholeheartedly agree with that. For me, it's absolutely obvious that despite the fact that Israel enjoys enormous power right now, which isn't really organic to Israel, Israel is like the favorite little fiefdom. It's the ultimate criminal state. And the real power behind that, which we can definitely trace, is the bankers. The bankers who have literally an infinite supply of money are running the world right now. They own our government. They own pretty much all the Western governments. They own the police. They own the court system. They own the corporations. They own the mainstream media. They completely own Hollywood. And they virtually infiltrate and control every non-NGO and every kind of meaningful social institution you can name because they have the money to do it. So Israel's their favorite little plaything. So I don't think that Natenyahu or any of these other criminals really have any power, maybe some a little bit more than others, but they're all puppets just like our presidents and all the other heads of state. They're all puppets. They all work for the bankers. So they tell us a bunch of lies every election cycle, but they actually follow the orders of the bankers. And if they don't, well, the last one who didn't follow the orders was John F. Kennedy, and he did not follow the orders. In fact, he defied the Federal Reserve Bank openly. So Israel is living on borrowed time, if you ask me, and I don't think there's really much doubt of that. The question is Israel going to exercise something known as the Samson option? Because now, thanks to our treasonous governments, thanks to John F. Kennedy being assassinated, it is now a reality that Israel has approximately 200 to 400 nuclear weapons. Thanks to Germany, who has gifted Israel with Dolphin-class submarines that have now been nuclear armed, Israel has the capacity to deliver those nuclear weapons anywhere on the planet with virtually no notice. So the reality we're living in now is this possibility of the so-called Samson option. And for those that don't know what that is, they should Google it. Don't trust me, Google it and verify it for yourself. It's an old biblical story, effectively paraphrasing here. Samson, a Jew, was basically facing an enemy force that was overwhelming. He knew he was not going to be able to beat it back. So what he did was he lured these forces into the temple, and then he pushed down the pillars of the temple, and he killed himself and everyone else. This is the Samson option, and the modern day equivalent, according to high-level thinkers within Israel, is that if Israel's security, if Israel's existence is threatened, that we will take out the whole world, that we will use nuclear weapons against the whole world, that we will use the threat of destroying the whole world if our existence is threatened. Now keep in mind the bankers own Israel. It's their favorite little plaything. It has no extradition treaties with anyone in the world. It's involved in blood diamond trading. It's in sex trafficking, organ trafficking. It's committing active genocide by the legal definition of the word according to Black's Law Dictionary, genocide. It is the ultimate criminal state. So how much room is there for Israel to continue? The only reason why Israel has existed as long as it has is because it's basically been in the dark. The powers that be in the mainstream media have kept it in the dark. The truth about it has never been exposed. The light has not been exposing it. Now the light is exposing it, and that's why it's living on borrowed time. So the question becomes, is Israel going to exercise the so-called Samson option? And how much more of American taxpayers' money is going to be used for Israel to produce even more nuclear weapons and more military technology, to the point that we already face this monstrous threat? It is incredible. Americans are the main benefactors of Israel, this ultimate criminal state. When the American people finally realized, not just 9/11, but how about the USS Liberty? We get back to the USS Liberty in 1967. The lesson that was taught to Israel, keep in mind this was not too long after Kennedy's assassination, and that traitor, this incredible perverse traitor, Lyndon Baines Johnson, was now in the office, totally bought and paid for by the Zionist Jewish supremacist lobby. And it was in 1967 that Israel literally attacked a defenseless ship, the USS Liberty, in international waters, blue skies, flying the stars and stripes, killed 34 American sailors, really did everything it could to sink that ship. And I would argue that it was divine intervention that it didn't sink. If that ship had sunk, we had nuclear weapons that were fitted on phantom jets that were flying towards Cairo. The end of the world could have happened right back in 1967 due to our best friend and ally, little old Jewish state of Israel. And this is the reality today. Their power has only increased, and the lesson from the USS Liberty was, you can do anything you want. Johnson and other traitors have always covered this up successively for decades. I know some of the survivors of the USS Liberty, so it's no surprise what they were involved in 9/11. Again, the lesson is Israel can do anything. I was on a ship, a humanitarian ship heading to Gaza in 2010, and Israel attacked that ship in international waters right next to where the Liberty was attacked. And I witnessed the dead bodies. I was there and involved in disarming 2 of these commandos. They literally murdered 9 people on the day, 6 of them provably executed. I've read the autopsy reports and the ballistics reports. So Israel is the ultimate criminal state, enjoying the favor of the real powers that be, the bankers who have an infinite supply of money. The lesson to them is always be that you can do anything and everything, and you get away with it because you have the favor of the powers that be. So how far are we going to take this? I don't know. But when the American people finally figure out how their sons and daughters have been sacrificed for this nefarious, evil, psychotic agenda of greater Israel and whatnot, they're going to be, to put it bluntly, pissed. They're going to be angry. And I don't blame them. I just wish they'd figure it out sooner, because it's only going to cause more death and more mayhem, not just for the American people. Let's take a look at the Middle East and what's happening there. It is ungodly. And those people running around cutting off heads, mostly Muslims, but also Christians and whatnot, those people work for us through our proxy, Saudi Arabia. All of this is Israeli Jewish supremacist policy, and if it doesn't stop soon, it could be the end of the world for everyone.
यूनिवर्सल टेलीविजन को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें, उसके बाद बेल बटन पे क्लिक करें और अपने कमेंट्स के सेक्शन में अपने कीमती जो ख्यालात का इजहार ज़रूर